Hey everyone! On this episode of Gaming and Collecting, me and Alex are going to talk about our recent trip to the 2024 edition of the Connecticon convention. We had some fun. We saw a bunch of things, bought some merch. It was a good time, and yeah, gonna give our rundown of the event. But anyways, guys, on with the intro music. So, how's your popsicle?
It's good. It's cherry flavored.
Uh,
I have a bunch of popsicles. Oh, there she is.
uh, this week has sucked.
Oh, what happened?
I just work for a shitty company.
Well, I knew that. Oh, hello. Guess who's here though?
It's Miss Pooh, Alex's cat, who takes giant poos.
You hear her scratching the chair behind me?
Yeah.
She's rubbing my head. Hello. We've been buddies today. I took a half day today, so.
Hey, you guys are in shutdown, right?
Yep.
That's fun.
Yeah. It's very quiet, which is scary.
Yeah.
But now I'm home the rest of the week with Miss Dingles.
Nice. I got 2 more days of hell, so.
HE double hockey sticks.
Pretty much.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's alright.
Aww.
I'm just tired.
You know what would make you feel better?
What?
Poo pets. I feel like every podcast we need to specify that my cat's name is Pooh.
Yeah. Are you trying to pawn
I'm
her
not
off again?
talking about Pooh. No, I love her again. I love her. She's a little shit, but she's been so cute and nice today, so she can stay.
You know what's funny? My week, like, other than work, has been, like, completely, like, nothing at this point, because literally yesterday I recorded a podcast.
Yep.
And then on Monday, I was doing research for said podcast. I played a puzzle game that went on for 2 fucking hours because I couldn't lose. I was like, I started at like 7 after I got done at the gym, and like it was like 9 o'clock, like just about time to go to bed, and I was like, it won't end. I just
what
want
game
to.
was it?
So you can find out by going and checking out our episode that came out at the time of this episode, like probably like weeks ago. But we played a game called Tripped. It is a puzzle game that is weird.
Why don't we do shit like that?
Because we talk about Muppets racing games.
I want to talk about actually fun games. Maybe I want to make a game.
I can assure you, you probably would have more fun with Muppets Race Mania than Tripped.
Can we play a bunch of mahjong games and then play actual mahjong? I feel like I would like that.
Ironically, we did a mahjong episode over on 3DO.
How fun?
Well, here's the thing. We weren't originally going to cover that game at all, but then our mutual podcaster and the founder of our network, Aaron, he really wanted to talk about that game for some reason, so that's why we ended up doing it.
I'm very mad. I should have been invited. I'm the bigger mahjong fan of everyone. Oh god.
Okay, we can talk about sexy mahjong.
No, I don't want to talk about that.
I was laughing because I went on the Switch store, and like the first game I saw on the Switch store front page, this was like a while back, so it's probably not there anymore, but it was just literally hentai golf.
Nice.
It was on sale for $1.
And you bought it?
Oh yeah, because it was on.
You're supposed to say no. I didn't buy it.
Oh no, $1. $1. The morbid curiosity gets the better of you, and you're just like.
Speaking of hentai, Bill bought a lot this week.
I did not.
Yeah, he thought he did. I saw him go back for it. He tried to hide it, but I saw him. Especially the Yowie.
You know how like. First off, the fact that booth was like usually swarmed said a lot, but also the fact that You know how much effort it takes to like actually sift through that shit? Like
I know, I saw you there for hours.
also fun fact, most of that stuff is for free on the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's be real here. Anyways, so yeah, I guess to jump into our topic, we're
Wait.
talking
What
What?
are you drinking?
One of these sparkling ice water things.
Wow. Aren't you gonna ask me what I'm drinking?
What are you drinking?
Well, I'm eating a popsicle, and I also have water. Let me read
Lovely.
the nutritional facts.
Let me mute you right now.
Wait. Where are they?
This gag doesn't
Where
work.
are
It's when
they?
you won't let me post the video.
Bill, where are the facts? Where are the facts on my metal water bottle?
This joke is stupid. Move on.
Your face is stupid. Get out of my podcast. This is my show.
First off, like
It's the Alex podcast.
that made
now.
no sense because no one's gonna see this video. And second off, the joke is plain.
I don't fucking care. They can imagine it. They've seen my face from the last one. They can use their imagination. Be creative, people. Come on. I'm eating a popsicle. I look like a
Anyways.
grub.
So
Oh wait, did you see what I replied? Someone in our show, I forget who it was.
it was. How could you forget Rick?
Oh, it was Rick. Okay, I'm sorry.
How could you forget Rick?
I'm sorry, Rick. I'm so sorry. But he was like, "Wow, I actually see Alex's face," and then I commented, "I put the I'm ugly and I'm proud from."
Yeah, and he reacted with an angry Kirby.
I don't know. I thought it
Because
was
nobody
hideous.
buys your bullshit.
I'm hideous. I know it.
Ugh.
I have to put on makeup to not be ugly. Well, not be as ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Anyways.
Not all of us can be naturally beautiful as you, Bill. You're gorgeous.
So we went to Connecticon.
No, we
Again,
didn't.
we did.
No. It's not where we went to FurryCon.
First off, you're afraid of them, so we definitely did not go.
They scare me. That's why I was scared the whole time.
But yeah, no, we did not do that. We went to Connecticon.
FurryCon's next.
Why are you even making this joke when it's like very clear you would never go to one of those?
I know, but I want to see you go to one.
I'm not really interested. I have nothing against them personally, but I just have no interest in that.
I know about your Garfield fursuit.
Why Garfield? That's not even our thing. That's actually like Rick Server's thing.
Right. No, your Kermit fursuit. Wait, would that be a scale suit? Would that be scaly? Is that what they call the lizards?
I don't even know where you're going with this anymore.
Bill's cosplaying as Kermit at the next convention, right, Bill?
That would suck. Like, I don't want to wear. I don't really like the cosplay because it's uncomfortable, anyways. But that would just suck.
Well, you haven't picked a comfortable costume yet.
It's not even that. It's more I just don't like to take photos in general. So
you don't have to.
Yeah, but I don't want to be rude.
It could be a really shitty Kermit costume.
Like some of the people at conventions lately. That's a segue.
She jumped on the couch on her own. Oh, she's not. She's back. Do you see her? What are you doing? No, don't eat that. Don't eat that. No, excuse me. No, oh God.
Now we've lost Alex.
She was trying to eat something that wasn't food, as per usual.
What else is new? But anyways, we went to Connecticon this weekend, and this is our third time going to Connecticon now.
Fourth.
No, we skipped a year.
Did
we? We went the last year of major COVID. Then we skipped the next year because of scheduling reasons, because we were in the process of trying to move at the time, remember?
Hey! Sorry.
Please mute your mic next time you do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. She keeps eating everything, so I have to yell at her sometimes.
But yeah, so this was our third time going to Connecticon. and it was fun. I will say this was probably the weakest year for Connecticon, I'd say.
Y-
Um,
Sorry, I had to mute myself so I didn't scream.
but yeah, not it wasn't that it was bad. Like this is still above that one anime Boston that really was bad.
Mm.
But I'd say out of the 3 Connecticons we've been to, this was probably the weakest year.
Yeah, I will say this was the year I probably enjoyed it the least. I won't lie. Last year was really fun. I remember last year being like a ton of fun. This year, not so much. I don't know. I feel like we just unfortunately ran into a lot of really rude people,
Yeah, I
which
think it was a
kind of really takes the experience.
I think it was a combination of a few things. I feel like it was the vibe this year was definitely weird. Like
Yeah.
it was definitely this has been the most popular year we've been, period.
Oh
Um
yeah.
in terms of people present and just the amount of craziness there. Um we're fully into like the world being back to normal now, so like we're just getting a lot of
Well, and like there's just so anime and weeby stuff. It's more not social. I guess socially acceptable. Like more people are going to conventions. More
it's
people are
mainstream
watching.
now.
Yeah, more people are watching that. You'll see. Like I was like, so I joined like the little fan group before. Like there was like a Facebook group. So I joined it to just hear some updates about like what was going on, if things got moved around. And like before the con started, like people would post like, "Oh, these are what I'm cosplaying as," and there's people who were like, there was a ton of people who were like, "I'm cosplaying a different cosplay every day," and I was like, Jesus, like I can't do that. I can barely pull one together, let alone 50, like in a whole week. Like I was just like, damn, like
You know what I also think might have affected this year a little bit too?
what?
The timing of the event this year like happened to hit us both right in the middle of some really big bills and other
Yeah,
things that kind of
unfortunately, July is when we get our town bills from our the town we live in. I'm not gonna say it so people can't be creeps.
I don't need to
But
edit.
yeah,
I don't need to edit it out again.
yes, I didn't say it this time, I swear. But it's when we get our town bills. So, and unfortunately, one of them is related to the amount of vehicles you have. So Bill had two of them, because he has two vehicles. So that sucks for you. But still, it was a lot. And like I went to Texas this month, so I also had a ton of money. Like I
Yep.
spent way too much this month, and next month will be like literally not buying anything besides groceries.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in full save for a bit,
So,
unfortunately, but that's part of being an adult.
yay, bills. The bills gotta be paid.
Yeah,
The
it was
cat
just
has to
it
be
was
fed.
it was just really unfortunate timing this time of the year because we literally got spiked by pretty much everything, so we were already kind of stretched.
Yep.
That and it's been kind of a shitty month. I'm not gonna lie. The
Yeah,
world,
this July has been stressful. We'll go with
like,
that.
not only is like the like not only is personal life just been kind of meh, but also the world is just fucking mental right now. I'm not gonna get into it, but if you've been watching the news, you know what's going on.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it's there's a lot of chaos going on for sure.
yeah, and we'll leave it at that. But yeah, so it's been kind of just a vibe. So this was kind of our getting out into public, and unfortunately, realized people kind of suck in public these days.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, not everybody. Most people are nice, but there are some particularly rude people these days.
Unfortunately, yes. It's I think it's just kind of the world we live in now. Is people are crazy. They're kind of all just. I feel like they just like people wind themselves up and they like explode out in public or something.
I
It's
hate to use the term,
crazy.
but the term terminally online is really real these days.
Oh yeah, you can see it. I mean, I think we saw it a lot at the con, like just with some of the behaviors. Like honestly, like we ran into some like I guess we can start it out with we'll start out with the day. We'll discuss day one. Day one. I went full cosplay. Bill did not cosplay. I made a Bulma cosplay from her rider's outfit. Which is like where she has like a pant short leg thing and like a side ponytail.
I don't think it was an outfit that ever actually appeared in
No, I
the
don't
anime
think it was in
itself.
the anime. It
I
was
think it was a promotional for a Japanese motorcycle, I believe.
yeah, it was pretty cool though. So I really liked the outfit. So I was like,
It's
oh, I'm just gonna
it's
do it.
a
Why not?
it's a well-known outfit of Bulma's, one of her. So it's from her Dragon Ball era, so it's young
Mhm.
Bulma, but it's a really iconic outfit, like the cut-off pants and like the white
It was
shirt and
like the
everything.
coolest one. Like because I looked at some of her other outfits because I've been wanting to do Bulma for a while, or just a Dragon Ball character for a while, and that was my favorite one of hers because I feel like a lot of her like Dragon Ball Super outfits tend to lean heavily towards mom and like
Well,
a
she
mom
has like
outfit
she
as
either
she is
has
a mom.
well her two outfits in Super are either the party dress or the mom jeans and white shirt with the scarf. Like
Yeah,
that's
which
really about
I
it.
didn't want to do that. So I wanted to do something cooler. So that's what I did. Bill had to help me get it all together because I couldn't do it by myself. And it did break during out the day, but Bill helped me stitch it back to get tape it back together, which was funny. Um, but we ended up leaving. We originally were planning to get there for like what time?
9:30.
9:30, but I ended up just being ready earlier. So I was like, hey, do you want to leave earlier? And so
Yeah,
we ended up getting there for 9.
and this ended up being a blessing in disguise because
Yeah.
so usually the previous 2 years we've been able to park on the ground floor like and have like the easiest in and out ever. This was
Yeah.
like this year like the parking garage. Well, so unfortunately day one there was like 4 events going on in
Yeah,
the
so
city.
there was a jazz festival, a Pokemon event at the Museum of Science, and then a food truck festival, and then Connecticon. All the other 3 events besides Connecticon were all free events. So
Yeah,
the city was packed. It was
yeah,
very, very packed, and unfortunately, those garages were as well.
yeah.
So
And they were attempting to direct traffic around, but they were kind of making it worse in a
I
lot of
think so.
areas.
On Saturday, it was bad. On Sunday, it was better.
Well, Sunday it was just Connecticon, which made it a lot easier.
Yeah, but they were the police directing traffic were doing a better job on Sunday
Well,
compared to Saturday.
they probably got beaten down on fucking the internet
Well,
about it.
it was insane, like where they what they were doing and stuff, and people were driving like crazy. I was really grateful that Bill drove that day
Yeah.
because
The worst was that freaking van that just parked right in the fucking like traffic lane and fucked everything up.
yeah, that was just
Because they wouldn't let
painful.
us in the normal entrance this time. Like we had to take like the back
On
entrance.
Saturday at least.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of a shit show. But we did end up getting there. I like how
We
we
got
just
parking.
yeah, actually we parked in the same spot both days.
Yeah, that was
Hilariously
pretty
enough.
funny actually.
But what I always find funny is you got the line of people waiting for the elevator, and me and Alex are like, "Screw it, taking the stairs, it's quicker."
Yeah, it
And
was
then we
just
couldn't figure
easier.
out where to go, and because the stairs kind of popped you out in the middle of nowhere, and we were like, "Where do we go?"
Like, where are we? But then we ended up following some random people, and we got into line, and the line was full. Well, we were in like we were in kind of they have like a queue through one of the parking lot sections,
So
and
they have
then
one queue, then a second queue, and then they kind of just it's a free for all after that.
we were kind of in that second queue, like that wasn't in the gate roped off one, but kind of the line queue. But when we got there, it was like literally right before gates opened, and then gates started open. So we moved. I'd say we were
Yeah,
there for like how long do you think we waited?
it was about 20 minutes to half an hour at most.
I think it was a little more than 20. I think like 45 minutes.
It wasn't bad. It was
It was not. Yeah.
when I walked up and saw the line, I was like terrified because I had to pee really bad
Oh
at the
yeah.
time.
We both had to pee.
Because unfortunately those lines like they look incredibly intimidating, and they
Yeah.
the biggest problem is they appear to move slowly, but that's mostly just because people in lines don't pay attention.
Oh yeah. We had like this. a couple in front of us that I don't know. It didn't seem like they went out very often.
No, this
And they just kept holding up the line, and I was like,
not
"Please move, please
not
move.
not
You're pissing me off."
not to judge, but this was a couple. Feel like this is like the first time they've left the house ever, and like they did not know how to act in public
Yeah, it was
because
very.
they would be
There
just like
was a lot of
staring.
PDA too. There was a lot of PDA, and I was like, I don't want to see
See,
that.
I didn't notice that, but I also wasn't really paying attention. I
I
was more
I
paying
kept
attention to
seeing
them
it.
staring at like cosplayers, and like the line would be moving, and like we'd be just like kind of like
Move,
move, and
move.
then we'd try to get around them, and then they'd start rushing to get back into their spot, and I'd be like, this wouldn't happen if you just pay attention.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't get mad if people are just gonna move around you because you're not moving. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
you can't. If you're holding up the line, fuck off.
Um,
The funniest part about being in line though is that apparently Connecticon was sponsored by Kraft Mac and Cheese, and they were just throwing mac and cheese into the lines at some point, and no one wanted it. Like
no.
people would take
What?
it. They wanted
Who?
one.
Who wants uncooked mac and cheese at a fucking
Well,
convention?
you could eat it later.
Yeah, but you have to carry it around, and most of these people do not want to carry this shit around.
Man,
Like,
most of these people don't have bags or backpacks.
yeah, like I brought my clear bag because
And
I
I
always
put
bring
the
that.
mac and cheese in there.
Yeah, until you got your own bag, I'm like, take your shit. I don't want this.
Fucking bitch. Yeah,
I
hold
need
on,
my.
mac and cheese. I took 2 mac and cheeses because I already ate one.
Yeah, I don't like mac and cheese, so I didn't want that at
What's
all.
wrong with you? Are you okay?
But yeah, that was such a random like. Is
And
it like a?
they had like 10 pallets of mac and cheese.
Oh yeah, but by the end of day 2, like when we left, there was still about 7 of them.
And also, I'm pretty certain it rained. It rains Saturday night, and those things were sitting outside. I'm pretty certain. So if you took mac and cheese on the second day, it might have been a little soggy.
It was probably sealed in plastic, so it was probably fine. But
yeah, you'd be surprised.
But yeah, so that was a thing. That was so fucking random. I get sponsorship. You know what the sad part is? Half that shit probably got thrown away.
No, yeah, half of it probably did.
Not even just because they didn't get rid of it. I think half of it got thrown away by convention goers who were like, "I don't fucking want this." Just threw it away.
Or just kind of like, I don't want to keep holding on to this mac and cheese.
I guarantee you that
it was a nice thought, but like, no.
It was a funny thing, just a weird demographic.
I think it would have made more sense if it was just like there was like a booth like outside the room, and then they just had it all there and people could just grab it and like as they wanted. Also just having like plastic bags, people probably would have taken it, but in the line when people are trying to like fish out their ID, all their other stuff, like it's probably not the best.
Yeah. I just that whole thing, it just made me laugh. I was like, this is so random.
It was very silly. But
you know what?
It wasn't that bad. But we did get behind. But they did do something really stupid at the end where they were like, four lines.
Oh yeah, the freaking 4 lines that queued back into one.
Into one big pile. So it made no difference. It was
all it did was it fucked a bunch of people out of their spot in line because a bunch of people cut the line because of that, and it was like, ugh.
Yeah, and then we ended up behind this bitch. I'm just gonna say it. She was a bitch. Like I was like wearing gloves, and I had taken one of the gloves off so that I could fish, because like when you have gloves on, it's harder to like grab a tiny thing. So I took it off so I could pull out my ID. My glove brushed against her leg, and she flipped out and freaked out and was like, people are touching me, oh my god. And I was like, have you ever been to a fucking convention? Because guess what, people are going to run into you and touch you. It's a mob of people. Like, if you don't want to deal with that, go home. Like, why the fuck are you here? Like, I was just like, she flipped out because a glove brushed her leg, and I was like, calm down. Like, she probably had a miserable day. And I'm like, if you don't want people in your personal space, you shouldn't come to a convention, let alone an anime convention.
Yeah.
Like, it was just ridiculous. Like, I was like, girl, like, stop flipping out. I'm not touching you. Like,
yeah. People suck. But
yeah.
You know what the funniest thing is though? I just thought about
what?
The convention center must be still finding mac and cheese in the most random fucking
places. I bet people like threw it in like bushes and stuff, or like
just
there was a bunch
left
in the
it
hotel.
in random spots around the convention center.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I am sure there's mac and cheese everywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure they love.
Sorry.
I'm sure they loved that, but yeah. So getting through the line, the end was dumb, but you know it was quick enough. I will say I've never been a big fan of how Connecticon does their queuing. It's still not
No,
great.
it never works how they do it. Well,
So
unfortunately.
the way they do it is it's a big line of a table, and they'll be like, okay, you can go to blue sign, like third from the right. They have their their paddle hung up, and I'm not gonna be mean to them, but they like were not even trying to lift those things up, and I was like, great. I think we just kind of went to the first person we saw available.
Yeah, we just kind of like whatever.
Because it's a
It
mob of people and they're just like no one's like cutting you a break, so you kind of just have to force your way
well,
through.
and the thing about the Connecticon badges is like so for some badges, like at Anime Boston, like it's pre-printed with your name on it, so they have to go grab your name and give you your badge. Connecticon, they have you write your name and your phone number on your badge. Only problem with that is that that ends up making the queue go even longer because now people are waiting at those tables just to sign it. I feel like it would make more
Especially,
sense if they put like in those other queues over there, like where they have other stuff, they should have tables with markers on them where it's like, okay, get out of the way, sign your stuff here, and then move. That would make more sense. But
yeah.
I'm looking at it from a process improvement person.
Also,
I
the
could see
thing that
many ways to improve their process. It's a very
yeah,
shitty, not great process.
or like they could just have a bunch of markers on hand and just give you one and be like, go sign this
Yeah,
somewhere.
or just like they give you no that too. Just
Because
pay for all
people
the
were
markers.
stealing the sharpies
No, people were
anyways.
taking them anyways. And
Because
so
our
one thing
girl
I
like didn't have her sharpie, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't have my sharpie," so she's like looking for one, and I'm like, "Well, this is
well,
just
I
great."
had the other one, so I had to give it to you after. But so I did find out you could get your badges mailed to you, but how like so when I like because for Anime Boston, I had the badges mailed to me, which was a godsend for Anime Boston because like we were able to just go right into the event. After getting through security, it was super easy. Connecticut, you could do that, but I found out that the shipping was like ridiculous. Like it was like $30 per badge. So if you got like two badges, add on like any extra like shipping cost additionally for them to actually ship it, it was like $80 to ship two badges. So no one did it because it was ridiculously expensive.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'll
So
still always continue to praise Retro World for you literally just walk into a window, they scan your thing, and they give you an armband. And they're like, "Go upstairs, and you go here to get your stuff." And I'm just like,
yeah,
"Cool."
it is also a much smaller scale
True.
convention. You do need to remember that. I
The
need to
only
buy my.
year,
What did you do for the? Tell me after the podcast
yeah.
what you
Uh,
find.
what's funny is though the only year that we ever had to queue at Retro World was the COVID year.
Yeah,
Well, the year after COVID, but it was
and
still
that wasn't even that bad.
no, it was like this tiny little queue that we just kind of it took us maybe like 10 minutes to get through, and then it was basic. I love the fact that they queued us all. They were like 6 feet, and then the second you get through the window, they didn't give a shit. I was just like, yeah, it's
Did
all
not.
optics.
Yeah,
Um, but that's the past. I just
but
laugh now.
COVID's basically done at this point.
No,
So
no, it is done. They flat out said it's done,
yeah.
which I'm not going there. Anyways, um,
But well, we did finally get to the convention, and we did run to the nearest bathroom. But while I was in the bathroom, I ran into Barbie. I ran into Barbie, a Swan Lake princess, and it was the greatest cosplay I've ever seen. Because you know, Bill, I love my Barbie movies, which we still need to do our Barbie movie marathon.
you still need to get the rest of the movies.
I will. I will get them, or I'll buy them on like in Prime. But yes, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do a Barbie movie retrospective. It'll be multiple parts because there's many to go over, like the Fairytopia. But I saw the Swan Lake Barbie, and it was wonderful. She was wonderful. Barbie's wonderful.
Yeah. The worst part though is like you get the one thing I say about Connecticon that's kind of meh is their event floor doesn't open till 11 and we got there at 9.
Well, the vendor's room doesn't
Well,
open
yeah.
until 11. We got there at 9, and then but they do have like a arcade game room slash the signing room slash wrestling room that was open. And like I believe the Marriott across the street, the Marriott's connected to it, but that was all like board games and stuff, and that was open as well. But like if
Yeah.
you're there for the shopping, there wasn't that much for you to do if you
Yeah,
weren't
and
into any of the other activities.
I did look up some of the panels beforehand this year because I was curious, and I just looked through. Nothing against the people, I just none of them really caught my eye.
I will say, yeah, like one of the things that's cool about like Anime Boston and stuff like that is that they like partner with like Crunchyroll and like
I
Funimation, so they'll
dive.
premiere stuff at those. So, and that's like kind of a cool appeal. Or they just have animes playing throughout the day. So if you just want a break to sit down and watch something, you can just go in and maybe discover something new. Uh, Connecticon doesn't really offer that. I think they're more catered to like doing the small panels and stuff, which like
The
if you're interested in one, it's great. But if you want to learn about furries 101, maybe not as much.
the big problem with Connecticon, and this isn't a dig at the convention itself, this is just kind of an unfortunate fact of what it is. It is such a broad convention that the subject matter in a lot of these panels is all over the place. And it's like you'll
I
kind of go on.
agreed. Oh no, I was just gonna say I completely agree. It's really I feel like it's very much lost direction. Like the conventions, like I don't know what the convention is about. It's just kind of pop culture,
So
and that's
yeah,
kind of it.
it's pop culture, but it's heavily anime dominated.
It has been recently.
It's heavily anime dominated, but it's weird how, because like the vendor floor, I guess we can get into the vendor floor now.
Yeah.
The
Well, it took
way
us so it opened at 11, so we kind of had to meander. I mean, it took us like 45 minutes, an hour to get through the line. So we only had like an hour to kill beforehand, but it was a long hour.
which
We did eat
basically
pizza. I ate pizza. Bill got chili because
that was
why did
really
you
good
get chili, Bill?
because
Explain yourself.
it looked more appealing than the pizza. Also, I wanted to have pizza later that day, which we did.
We
But
did. I ate double pizza that day. It was
it,
only one slice I ate before.
so I thought basically my reasoning was I wasn't feeling pizza. The ramen looked like it would have been a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
The chili was small. I wasn't super hungry. The chili was small, and I really didn't want something super meaty, and it was like vegetarian chili. So I was like, that'll work. Anyways, yeah. So we bought food and we ate that. We sat on like this really creepy hidey ho corner. Like
What's a
we were sitting.
Gojo cosplayer?
Oh yeah, he was just vibing. He didn't even acknowledge us, which was
I,
fine.
I feel like it was like we all were in the mood of like we're just gonna sit here until we can actually do something.
It was a mutual acknowledgement of we're not going to acknowledge each other, and that's perfectly fine.
We're just gonna vibe.
Sit here.
And also, it was funny though, because where we were sitting was by a door that was exit only, so we just kind of got to people watch all the people coming in to try and go through that door, only to be told, no, you have to go all the way back
Well,
around.
the fun fact was the doors didn't open from the outside, so once you went out, you were just stuck.
Well, yeah, but there was also people who were just trying to come in that way, and we're just like, man, I can't get
Well,
in. And both of us would.
they'd pull the door and it wouldn't open. Then they'd be like, "Huh?
Yeah, they do the why no open? Why no open? Be like,
Oh,
well,
the best thing I saw was before the floor opened. I literally watched someone walk up to the closed door and try to open it, and I'm just like, buddy,
also, like, I mean, look around you and notice that like every single
nobody's
person
out there.
is waiting to go in there. What the fuck are you doing?
And they just like stared at it and like tried to open it.
I feel like all like that's the thing about conventions. Like all common sense just leaves people. Like all of the knowledge of being a human being, it's just gone. It leaves. Like oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if we. Oh, it was on the second day. I'll wait to talk about it on the second day. Never mind.
Okay. Oh, before we talk about the event, the vendor floor, though, we should mention the arcade area because So every year,
I had a Jaguar, so I gave it the okay, but there was way too many N64s. I tried to flip one off, and Bill yelled at me because he's like,
you
"Oh,
tried
they're
to
gonna."
flip. No, Alex, you tried to flip one off, and there was people right behind you.
I
I was
wasn't
like,
looking at it. I was looking at only the N64. I can't
like,
help it,
Alex,
Bill.
I'm like,
I can't help it. I see the
I'm like,
N64 and I hate it. Even after
I know.
replaying a bunch of the games, I still hate it. It's a
There
shitty
was
ass console.
the
Fuck
way.
the N64.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Screw
But
you
like,
guys. You're not gonna
the,
convince me.
that was your common sense going away, and you just straight up flipped off some random people, and I'm like, Alex,
I
no.
didn't. I was flipping the N64. They could
Yeah,
hear me. They could hear me go, I hate you, N64.
I don't think. I'm just
Jaguar.
saying,
Jaguar forever. Jaguar forever. Only Jaguar. No N64.
I'm just saying, optically, that looked really bad. That's all I'm saying.
Go bug yourself.
But yeah, there's I think it's the same people do this every year. They're called like Gaming Underground or Games Underground.
And sometimes they bring crusty cons.
No, they always bring crusty
Yeah,
con.
they are
See,
all pretty crusty.
I've met the owner of that place, and he's a nice guy. But
Oh yeah, no. But it's funny when you see like the classic Nintendo and it's like that very like yellowy color.
I don't think they bring their best consoles. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't believe that. I'm dying.
Yeah, but I believe they're the same people that do the retro consoles at Retro World as well.
What? No way! Retro at Retro World?
Yeah. But we went through there. We also went through. They had a little arcade setup, which was kind of cool.
Podcast. He put out applications for a new co-host. I'm so sorry, guys. Bill's gonna replace me.
You make this joke every time. It's not funny. Let's move on.
I made the quitting joke. I didn't.
You make the quitting joke every episode. It's not funny. We'll move on.
I didn't make the quitting joke this time. I made the Bill's gonna fire me joke. I didn't say quit. I said he's trying to replace me. That's different. It's not the same joke.
The other parts of that area, there was also the so there was the signings, which I can't.
The only person I wanted to get a signing from was Bluey.
So
just for you, Josh.
I would have got that for him. It was a combination of the line for that was ridiculous, but also like it was one of those things where I was kind of like, so this isn't even really their fault. Their line was long, but they also had the poor decision of putting the Bluey actors right next to Bryce Papenbrook, who for those who don't know is the voice of Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan.
Eren Yeager. And
his line was fucking mental. Like the amount of people, and it kind of caused kind of a shit show clusterfuck.
Oh god! Oh my god! She almost choked herself. She just tried to choke herself with my iPhone cord. Like she wrapped her neck in it and just tried to choke herself.
Your cat's kind of psycho.
She's dumb. It's not that she's psycho. She's just an idiot. Like she's so stupid. I love her, but she's the dumbest cat I've ever seen. Come here, dummy.
Yeah.
Don't choke yourself this time.
But yeah, I'm all for people getting autographs and stuff. I've just never seen the appeal personally.
I feel like it's just like it's more of like so. I feel like our parents like were never really celebrity crazed, and like we never really were either. Like I mean, like truthfully, like if I saw a celebrity in public, I probably wouldn't give a shit. Like oh, for example, at nationals, do you know the guy Magic Mike guy? What's his name? He played Magic Mike. It's like Channing Tatum. So Channing Tatum was at the Nationals for Irish dance because his daughter dances. And I was like, cool. And then there was people like following him and chasing him, like to the point he had to go hide like in a security area at times. And I was like, people suck. Like I'm like just like I don't know. I just like I like did not care at all. Like I didn't give a shit at all that he was there. And I had friends who like were like, oh my god. I was like, cool. It's a person. Like
celebrity worship's a thing, and it's weird. But
I know, yeah. I feel like it's just that's the thing. Like we just aren't about that. We just don't really care.
Well, it's that, and it's also like the way I see it is you're waiting in line to essentially get a piece of paper.
Yeah, I
That
also. Who the hell is that?
personal preference. I have nothing against people who are into that. Just
The only celeb I would want to meet is Conan O'Brien, but I wouldn't like go to try and find him. It would just be if I saw him in passing, I would probably do a little, "Oh my God, it's Conan O'Brien." But other than that, there's no other celebrity that I think I'd want to meet.
yeah. I did find it kind of interesting though that the Bluey actor and actresses, their line was as packed as it was.
It was very packed, and there was
Um,
people in Bluey cosplays too, which was
well,
also
there's
really
nothing
amazing.
wrong with that.
No, I thought it
Um,
was awesome. I thought they were so cute. All of them were.
I get why Josh likes that show. I It's not
Have
something
you
I'd
been
watch
watching?
personally, but
How dare you? We're gonna do a Bluey retrospective. Bring Josh as our,
you have
our
you
guest.
haven't watched an episode.
I'm gonna start watching it. Actually, wait. How many animes have you watched so far this year?
I'd have to count. I don't have that on hand at the moment.
How fucking dare you? I have a count.
But yeah, so we went through that area. I mean, there was some fun voice act. There was some fun voice actors and actresses. The only one I would have wanted to meet was John St. John was there, who is the voice of Duke Nukem, and he and Big the Cat, which I find it interesting that he actually puts Big the Cat on his resume because he hated that role. But
Yes, good covering, Bill. While I screamed at my cat to get down.
yeah. But I guess now we can move on to the actual vendor floor, which is where we spent the majority of the con. It's
Yep.
where most people spend the majority of cons,
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, it's honestly some of the best people watching as well. Oh, but
People
there was that one experience. I don't know if that was day one or day two, but it was so uncomfortable.
That was day 2. We'll get
That
to
was
that
we'll
later.
get to that later.
So the convention shuffle was in full force because for
Oh
those who
yeah,
know, when you go to a convention and you go through the vendor galleries, you learn a phenomenon known as the convention shuffle, where like you essentially have to do this
some
kind of
also call it the convention waddle.
waddle slash shuffle. Basically, you have to do this kind of dance to get through people because let's let's face it, people have no sense of personal space or direction in these
Well,
areas, and
I think it's also like a bit of people get into like sensory overload. They focus on something and then they kind of lose all awareness of like, oh, I'm in the middle of a walkway. I should probably move out of the way instead of just stand in the middle of the walkway where everyone is trying to walk around me.
yeah.
And just all awareness just leaves people.
Also, like cosplay photo takers, like I don't have a problem with that. I just wish they would pick better
I feel
spots
like though
sometimes.
it's not as like I feel like people don't ask for pictures as much anymore because I feel like
It's
that used to be so much worse and now people don't as much. It still happens, but I feel like I remember like Anime Boston when like Persona was super big, like Persona 5 had just come out. People would and that was pre-COVID. People would take photos all the time. Like you would see people stop. I feel like you don't see as many stops now.
yeah. People also just don't want to interact with people. I've
I
noticed.
mean, I get it. I also don't want to interact with people. I had to interact with Bill all day. That was enough. Just kidding.
Yeah, but yeah. So we went. We
Eh?
went.
Is that all you're gonna say?
Anyways, so we went through we kind of did like a lap around just to scope it out before we actually started making purchases.
Yes.
Um, I noticed this year it seemed to be just completely fucking random, the
Yeah,
layout.
there was no sense of anything, and there was a lot of weird random booths too. But they also had this upstairs market that they had, so some of the booths downstairs would move upstairs to come back downstairs, which was kind of confusing because we kept seeing a bunch of empty booths, and we were like, "Oh, that's weird," and then they'd appear the next day, and you'd be like, "Oh, they were upstairs," which was like, I guess, like kind of cool. It showcased some of them differently, but also like confusing.
Yeah, I will say I get they're trying to make a sale, but some of them they're a little aggressive when you walk by.
Yeah, like there was one lady who I don't remember if this is day one or day two, but like she was like, I was just like, oh, good morning. Like I was just being pleasant. She's like, what do you want? And I was like, I was just saying good morning. I was just trying to be pleasant. Like,
Yeah, they're like, how can I
sorry.
help you?
But
And it's
ew,
like,
I got bit by a cat. Sorry.
um, yeah, it was just so weird the way it was laid out. Like you had like they kind of kept a lot of the art in one area, but then there was also
Well,
art
they
just
keep the
randomly around.
art like most of the artist alley smaller booths on like the left side, and then the right side is more of the merchandise booths. Is what I was seeing. Yeah, left, right, yeah. Um, that's the general layout I thought, but like some of them were just kind of random. Like there was a lot of figure booths. Like there was a ton of figure booths.
Oh yeah, and we
There's
saw the first time figure buyers.
Oh yeah. That's always a well, it's always funny when you see one of them go, "Oh, how much is that figure? It's small. It shouldn't be that expensive." And then the person goes, "Oh yeah, that's like a limited edition. Only like a few were made. It's $300." Like, and then you see the eyes go, "three
You
hundred
see
dollars."
you see the face drop, and then you're just like, "Yep, first
And
time owner."
they had a cool booth, which was actually really cool because it there was a Bulma figure of it in the outfit I was cosplaying as, which was really cool.
That was
But
just short.
it was just short of a grand. It
Yeah,
was, and all the other booths, like all the other figurines they had there, it was like these very custom build, like super cool figures, but all of them were like a thousand plus. It was crazy. But someone did buy that Bulma figure. It was gone the second
yeah,
day. So someone bought it.
yep. Um, Another great interaction. Not that we had, but one of my favorite parts about going through a vendor area at a convention is you hear the funniest shit.
Oh yeah.
But one of my favorites was that we were looking through some figures, and there was a group of younger girls, I want to say, um, and I overheard them basically saying like, "I can't wait till I'm old enough and I have my own house,
No.
so I can just have figures everywhere." And I was like, "Oh, you sweet summer child."
Oh no,
I was
honey.
like,
You don't have money for figures anymore when you own
"Yeah,
a house or rent a
yeah."
place. Like, oh.
Especially if it's like an apartment or something, it's like, oh, you're gonna get screwed on like rent, and you're not gonna have space that you think you are. Yeah, I just love like hearing stuff like that because it's like when you're an old jaded
But
almost 30 year
we
old.
were all there at one point. We were all those young kids at one point, being like,
I mean,
yeah,
I
living on
have a
my own
house
is
and I've my figure collection is relegated to behind me in my set, so
my favorite figure. Jeff Gordon,
oh,
my
shut up.
favorite anime waifu. Bill's waifu collection.
This
Which one's
joke,
your most expensive again?
uh
Is it still Sword Bitch?
it's the Byleth figure that was like
Sword
three
Bitch.
a little under 300. You've spent just as much. So
Shh, I don't want to do the math of my collection at this point. I'm a little scared. Did you buy figures?
yes, I bought the Eye figure from Oshinoko, and then I bought
Yes.
a Chi Chi figure, like Teen Chi Chi from like OG Dragon Ball.
Now that's like the coolest. That's like one of the only Chi Chi figures. Don't do it. Sorry. Um, that's like one of the only ones where she's like not like in her weird.
It's one
Um,
of the only Chi Chi figures that's not of her child
yeah,
design,
her
where she
weird
has
child underwear design,
the
which I'm not a
chainmail
fan of.
bikini armor with the spike helmet.
Yes,
Um,
not a fan of that one.
yeah, because there isn't many Chi Chi figures in general, and it was just kind of cool they actually made
We
one.
found there's a lot of Bulma ones though.
Well, yeah, Bulma gets many figures.
Yes, because she got
um,
the butt.
so it was funny. Like you'd have like figure booths. There was an occasional
Wait,
gaming.
you didn't ask me what figures I got.
What figures did you buy, Alex?
Thank you for asking. I got a Mihawk figure from One Piece because I had to get something One Piece. And then I got a uh, figure from Undead Unluck, a new series that I watched. But my favorite character, Shen, there was a figure for him. So I got him one because he's hot. And he's
Okay.
my favorite. Well, actually, I would have really loved the undead character, but there was not one of him. So
See, The worst part was like the eye figure I bought was at this one booth, and they were doing a whole like you buy one get one half off deal thing, or
Uh-huh.
something like that. And they were like, "Would you like to see any others?" And I looked down, and like all of them are like either half naked or like really skimpy. And I'm just like, I'm good. I just wanted this eye figure.
Meh. And then I
Um,
got Manly Men.
yeah, pretty much. It was like half and half. Um, yeah, we went through there. A lot of figure booths. There was one booth that sold manga, and this booth very
Had a
nice. Like,
lot of boys love.
well,
Lot and lots of boys. It was mostly BL manga.
no, that was only one small section of it on the
That
end.
that was a huge section, Bill. That was like
Yeah, but
half the table was that.
it wasn't really half. It was
No,
like
it was. No,
it
because
was
you
a
looked on the
third at
other side.
most.
It was most of it, Bill. It was the majority. Because the rest of that table also had other stuff on it too. The majority of it was not regular manga. You're
Agree to
in
disagree.
denial. You're in denial.
I just think you're misremembering. It was not that big.
It was a lot.
There was a lot more regular manga.
Eh,
Like
I don't know. I think you're misremembering. There's a lot of it.
there was the two tables on the end that were all that, and then it was like the
And it
rest of it.
expanded. It was a little bit the other way too. But anyways, regardless, we can agree to disagree. But there was a lot of that. But they didn't really have any great manga selection. Like it
Well,
was all like,
they had a lot of old manga that
they
would
didn't
have
have
been good.
Magi, and I didn't want, so I didn't care.
I mean, if I was just getting into collecting manga, there would have been some cool stuff because they had like the old fruit baskets, like the first 11 volumes of the original like Tokyo Pop run,
Yes.
which was neat. But I already have the Yen Press like special edition, so there was really no reason for it.
Mm.
Um, some stuff like that. The problem with that booth was it kind of was a wraparound booth, and
Mm.
you would get trapped back there, and it just kind of was not the easiest thing to.
Oh yeah. Well, because they also sold a bunch of like they sold figures and they sold snacks because that was the boba tea booth.
Oh yeah, what flavor is the milk tea?
That was the one for the milk tea booth. So I always remember that booth because they're always there every year.
Yeah. Then of course there was the hentai booth, which I always laugh because like
They're also there every year with the
I
same hentai banner, the same body pillows along the
oh
wall,
yeah
and the same
the
yaoi
the
flag on the
the
wall.
yeah the hentai booth is always funny because they line their booth with nothing but body pillows and then a yaoi sign, and
Well,
then
and
it's just
it's
a
so funny because it's all like female bodybuilding, and then you just see yaoi next to it, and you're like,
well
things are not connecting
no
here.
they're just covering both bases. All right.
They are, but it's just very funny every time.
I always laugh though because like whenever I say I'm going to a convention, like I mentioned it on the co-op server that I was going to a convention, and our friend Liv had asked what kind of convention it was, and then Slade jokingly posted hentai, and I was like, there usually is one booth, yes.
Yes.
um, but yeah, like it was just there's always that booth, and I love the fact that that booth is always packed. Like people have no
Oh yeah.
shame,
Yeah, it's always pretty funny. Well, people are curious. They want to go look. They want to go see
or
and
they don't
experiment.
know, and then they start looking through and they go, oh my.
Because I think that happened the first few times. The like first time that booth was there, and we didn't look up, and we just went, "Ooh, manga," and then we went, "Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute." Ah! It was like
You
it's
start
porn.
you start sifting through, and you're like, oh, I've seen that one.
You're like, "Oh, My Hero Academia? Wait, what are they doing? No, 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 no."
There was also a few gaming booths. Unfortunately, the biggest issue I have with gaming booths at a non-gaming convention is like I'll go through the booth and then
You own
my
everything.
yeah, my thought process will literally be have it, too expensive, have it, too expensive. Like just like unfortunate because when you've been collecting for half your life, it just you
You
get to
have
points
it,
like this.
have it, have it.
Also, gaming booths kind of annoy me at some conventions like this because you get a lot of people who just kind of will stand there and like not.
In the way. I feel like they end up making, I don't know why, but it always ends up being the chatting spot.
Well, so if you're looking at the stuff that it's annoying, but I get it. I'm not gonna throw a fit about that. When you're just chatting there, not even to like the vendor owner, just in the way, I'm always like, can you move
Get
so I
out of
can
the way! I
so I
want
can
my
see?
mangoes. No, I
I just
mean,
I just want to see the stuff that I'm probably not gonna buy because I probably already have it. But
but I want to look.
I did buy one game though, from our local chain, State Line, because they always have a booth, and they
And they
always
always put the good shit.
well they always bring their best like stuff to Connecticon every year. So I tried to go to them the first day, but they were just always packed. So I ended up waiting till the second day, and the one I went over my budget because I had a $300 budget this year. I went over budget just for this game, but it was a copy of Stella Glow, which has been a 3DS game I've been looking for a while now. So I finally found a copy of it for decently priced, and I
Noise.
scored that one.
Noise.
And other than that, though, I mean, there was clothes booths, and a lot of sword booths, but the rest of the majority was art.
Yeah. And the art, it's funny because you see some like you recognize like from years before. And then there was one that I bought a couple of pieces from the year before, and then I was like, "Oh, I really loved your art last year. Like, I'll take a look around." And then they tried to sell me on like, "Oh, you get this free art if you go buy art from all these other booths." And I'm like, I don't want to feel like forced to buy stuff, so no thanks. I don't want to feel roped in.
Yeah.
But we both ended up getting some art.
Hmm.
What did you get, Bill, for art? And then
So,
ask me after you explain what you got. Don't forget about me like you did the last time with the fingers.
well, art wise, so the thing with the art is like I'll look through, and a lot of the times, like you'll see like one piece of art that you kind of like, but
One Piece? One Piece art?
it's usually like
Oh
e-
yeah.
either the line is ridiculous and you just don't want to wait, or it's kind of like you kind of like it, but then you're like, do I really want to pay $20 for something that I only kind of like?
Mm,
Um, for me, to get me to buy a piece of art, it's got to be something that I really enjoy.
yes.
And it's that unfortunately tends to always be like stuff that's just they never have art.
Yes.
So I was kind of perusing through like some booths were like returning booths. Like there's this one booth that, like, no offense to the guy, but he draws like these really sexual like art
Yeah.
pieces, and he's
I've
been
never
at
seen them sell. I won't lie. Like I've never seen them sell. And they're I don't know, like I don't want to judge his art, but I feel like they're not very proportional either. They're very like
well,
disproportionate and I know what you're talking
I shouldn't say he because I don't know the gender of the
about. They.
person, because
We'll just
I've
say
never
they.
actually looked, because like they have the same art every year, and it's always like I look at him like it's not that good. I don't want to be mean, but it's like it's just too sexual for my taste personally,
Yeah.
and it just not my
There
style.
was quite a bit of ones where I was like, that's a little much for me. Like I
See,
wouldn't want to hang that up in my house. Like
yeah, that's the thing. At least some of them are well drawn. These ones are just kind of meh. But
yeah, they're kind of like it's not the greatest quality. We'll go with that. But they're
yeah,
there at like every convention.
yeah, I know. Someone must be buying it if he keeps going, or they
Or
keep
he's
going.
trying to sell it.
But I went through around a couple. Like I'm always looking for Inuyasha art, which unfortunately is rare these days. Um, I'm also like I look for like Persona 4 art, which is also not as common. Like there was a Yukiko painting I bought last year, and it was
They
also
were
here
back.
this year. But I was browsing through and I saw they had this one artist had this really awesome like picture of Lucina from Fire Emblem Awakening, and I really liked it. So I waited on this booth in particular, and I chatted with the owner and the artist, and like they were doing a buy two get one free deal. So I
Yes.
was kind of like, yeah, sure, I'll look around. And they had a really nice Your figure, which I've gotten so many comments online. People are like,
Art.
who's that? Like, who's the sexy one in the middle? And I'm like, that's Your from Spy Family. They're like, ooh, she looks like a Dami mommy. And I'm like, mommy,
Ew.
yes, not so Dami. She's actually
Yeah. Well,
surprisingly whole.
unless you cross paths with her.
Well, no, she's murdery. Like, if anything, she's like incredibly awkward and wholesome more than anything. But yeah, I always joke about that because there's so much sexy Your art, but like yours like such a wholesome character that I always think the clash is always really funny.
Yeah, because it's
Um,
very like not your.
yeah, but I bought that, and then they had a picture of the main characters from the manga, The Dangers in My Heart, which I've been reading recently, and I really liked his art. So I grabbed those three.
I
Really nice
got two
guy.
from that one as well.
You did.
Because I was like super excited that there's never any Welcome to Demon School or Ruma art, and they had like he had a nice drawing of a Mary
Mhm.
from Welcome to Demon School, and there's no Mary figure, so I ended up getting that poster, which I really liked.
I loved his reasoning behind his art as well, because
Yeah.
he flat out said like he doesn't follow trends. He literally said like I just watch a lot of anime, and if I see a character I like, I draw it. And I was
Yeah.
like, I respect that.
And honestly,
Um,
he'll probably like sells more because of that too, because people are
his
like,
art
wow.
is really nice, and he had some pretty unique characters up there. Like you
Yeah.
rarely ever see like Fire Emblem Awakening art anymore. If you see Fire Emblem art at all, it's usually Three Houses, and even that's rare these days.
Is
But
it that I'm completely brain farting on the second one that I got from him? Because I got two posters from him, but I cannot. Oh, Teddy! I got Teddy poster. I got
oh
Teddy with
yeah,
his human and then his bear form. That's why I was brain farting. Because you said Persona, and I think it like exited my mind after that. But yes, I got a Teddy poster too, which
yeah.
I love Teddy. He's
See,
my favorite Persona character.
I just love chatting with the artists though about stuff like that, because like I love like learning their story, and like keep in mind I only do this when there's not a huge
Oh
line,
yeah,
because
when it's not super busy.
I hate being the asshole who like holds up the line to chat. And, like if there's no line though and the artist is like totally down, like I'll chat for a few minutes and then move on.
Hmm.
Um Also, I will note that we did not, because they enforce this so much better now. We did not see any photography of the art, which was good.
Hmm.
Like at least none blatantly.
I saw a couple people. Actually, I saw more people taking photos of the figures. Like people would take photos
I
of the
mean,
figures, which was weird.
that's not illegal though. Like that's not scummy. That's
No,
just weird.
I didn't
Um,
see as much of the don't take photos of art,
if
thankfully.
they were being much subtler, which is still shitty, but at least they weren't being fucking
I
assholes and
think I
like
might have saw it once or twice, but it was like a very quick snipe and then walk away. But yeah.
yeah. Thankful for that. But yeah, I like doing that. I also went to, so there's another booth. This wasn't a painting, but it was a. They're at the convention every year. They make these little like
Pixel art.
pixel art, like 3D pixel art figurines of like SNES era characters. The previous year I had gotten Kefka from FF6, and then this year I got a Terra one. So I have both of those in my game room now. Um, and then the last ones I got was, we were basically browsing on the last day. Like really, I didn't have much money left, and I was kind of just like
Mhm.
doing one final pass through to see if I missed anything that I really would have liked. And I saw this one artist, like I was browsing, and I noticed Final Fantasy VIII art, which incredibly rare. Like if you're gonna
Mhm.
get Final Fantasy art, it's usually either 7 or maybe the most current game at the time.
Mhm.
But I saw this really awesome like 8 painting, and I had to pick it up. And then they also had these little mini like postcard size paintings as well, and they had another 8 one in there, which I really like. So I bought both of those.
Mhm.
And yeah, honestly, that was about all I got for art. Not a ton this year.
I got two other pieces of art, which I thought were really cool. There's this guy whose his whole booth was like it was all like food, like almost like food branded stuff. So I ended up getting like so from the Disastrous Life of Psyche K. It was like a Psyche K poster, but he was advertising his coffee jelly, which like if you watch the show, like that's kind of it was super perfect. And then they had a Haikyuu one where it was like a Wheaties box, and they were like the Wheaties players, which I got that one too. But there was
Nice.
quite a few of them. Like he had a ton of them because he was setting up his booth when we first
Yeah,
got there.
the poor guy was struggling to get his like curtain
And
up, and I was
I
just like,
felt really bad, and I was like, "Dude, take your time. It's fine. I don't mind waiting." Because he actually printed out the poster that I wanted, which was pretty nice.
yeah, he
But the
printed
coffee
out
jelly,
one of them because I guess it wasn't a huge seller.
yeah, I
Um,
think it was the Haikyuu one, or maybe he just didn't have time, or maybe it sold out the day before. Maybe
maybe,
it could
but
actually could have been more of that because
true.
The Haikyuu movie did only come out recently, so
That's true. Um, and then other than that, like besides like did you get any other art or
I got some other trinkets. Like I
okay, I was
got
getting into
two
trinkets next.
two fluffy pins of like Zoro and Sanji, which were both really funny, and they were like a 2-for-1 deal. And then I also got like a little Luffy pin as well. But I think that was all the art I got. I don't think I got any other art besides that.
Yeah, I
No,
bought a
and then I got the crocheted Bulbasaur,
oh yeah,
which
I
was
remember because he was
really
like he was a good sell because he's like that's the last one, and you're like I need it.
and I was like, "Oh, I need it. I need a Bulbasaur, and it's very, very cute, and I love it." So, and
Yeah,
that's
his
all I got.
I
Huh?
loved I love the little booths like that, like the crocheted stuff, like the stuff
Mhm.
that's very handmade and like they clearly put effort into it.
Yeah, that's some of my favorite. Well, because that's why I like the pins that I got too. Honestly, everything that I got, I really enjoyed because it was either really unique, like those food posters were just really fun, and would look cool like on the wall and stuff. But like the all the other trinkety stuff that I got was just like really cool. Like I really liked everything I got.
I
No
bought the
regrets.
I bought the only Inuyasha merch in the entire building.
Of course you did.
There was I found it. So there was this one booth that was doing like these custom water bottles, which kind of stolen art, but I'm gonna just let that go because
Yeah, the Haikyuu. I was interested in the Haikyuu one, but then I recognized the art and I was like, wait a minute, that's stolen. So
well, I shouldn't say stolen as in it was like stolen from other artists. It was just like
no, the Haikyuu one was stolen from
oh was it?
a small crate. Yeah, that's why I
Okay.
didn't buy it because
And I have no
yeah,
idea.
well because I recognized that like it was art of like the main characters from the school Karasuno and he was wearing a different uniform and then I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this art before and then I was like, oh, this is stolen.
Okay. Yeah,
It
see
was a
the one
small crate.
I bought the Inuyasha one and I kind of liked it just because it was like legit all just like stock like images. Because like
Yeah, there was
I
definitely
was
ones with the more stock images.
I
Agreed.
was I was just laughing because I'm like, I know where that's from, I know where this is from. I've seen that one before. That's from a video game cover. You have to pick
Hmm,
and choose when it comes to Inuyasha stuff, and that was about it.
yeah.
I
No,
also got a
they were cool cups. They were cool.
yeah. I also got some keychains. I found a Kagome keychain, which I had on my lanyard for the rest of the convention, and then
Yes.
it's funny. There's so many keychains around, and it's like a lot of them are like characters that you just don't remember, or like you're like, oh, that's I know that one kind of.
Yeah. Or just random things too.
I still loved going through the art gallery though, and like you just look and be like, oh, holy boobs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was a lot of mouse pads. There was a lot of mouse pads, and there was a lot of censored art too. But then there was a lot of like, whoa, all right. There's
I'll
also
still
like, and I will say like there were definitely some really talented artists, but then there was a couple booths like that one booth we were talking about too, where I was like, or I don't know. Sometimes like you just can't get into an artist's style. Like you're just like you're like because there was some art that I saw that like had One Piece characters, but I'm like it just didn't even look like the characters. Like and they were wearing the outfits, but it was not Luffy and it was not the straw hats. Like I
well,
was
yeah,
like
they're
those
like the style is just so
so it's
different.
just so different that it doesn't work. Like they just drew them in a like it didn't look like the One Piece characters. So I didn't really like that. I don't know. That's personal preference though.
Yeah, like it was weird because you'd see a couple booths where you're like, I really like that art, but I don't care for any of the things they drew.
Yeah. That
Um,
too.
or you'd see something you're like, oh, I like that character, but that art's not for me. It was kind of a flip or flop kind of thing.
Yeah. But
Um, yeah, it was just the typical convention stuff. That was about it for day one. Do you want to talk about day two briefly? Because day two was very truncated
um
in comparison.
I guess anything else really happened on day one or
Not really. I mean, we
no?
left. We left about around like 3, and then we went and got pizza,
Yes. We went and got pizza and then we went grocery shopping.
and we bought picture frames.
Yes, that too.
Um, yeah, day two we showed up. We came a little bit later because we already had our lanyard, so it wasn't a huge deal.
Yeah.
Um,
Parking though was still shit show.
Parking was a shit show in the line. Holy mother of Sunday.
Yeah, like we were walking, like when we walked to the convention, the line was packed, and when we had left, the line was still packed. It was
And then
crazy.
we saw some ragers who were like, "Yeah, I'm not fucking waiting 3 hours to just have to leave once I get in."
Yeah, but I mean, I've never like I mean, when we went on Sunday. It was probably not as crowded, but still really crowded. So last year, so it was a little crazy.
We did also have the most awkward interaction I think I've ever
Oh
seen.
yeah, I felt so bad. We went back to that booth with manga to kind of do like a last walkthrough, and this kid like came up, and it was so uncomfortable.
He basically he clearly was a very awkward man.
Yeah,
Um, and
might have
he
had some sort of
uh,
social.
yeah, I'm not gonna look too deep into it, but
No, yeah,
he basically just flat out asked the literal just a couple other congoers across,
they
thinking
were
they were in
clearly
for.
just teen girl cosplayers. They did not look like they worked there. Like they were just two girls cosplaying and looking at the stuff. It was so awkward.
The worst thing was though, like the guy just flat out asked, he's like, "Do you have certain manga?" And like there's just a dead silence, and everyone just like it was one of those moments where like the entire world just goes silent for a
Oh
minute,
my god, like it got so quiet. And
and
it
like
like
everyone just kind of is like pausing, and like the two girls were like, "We don't work here," and he was
oh
like, "Oh." And then he didn't know what to say, so it got even more awkward. And then this poor guy like was trying to diffuse the awkward situation.
well he
He's
was
like,
like, "Oh, the people work there. Ask them."
yeah, he's like the owners are over there, and he was like, "Oh, thank you," and then just walked away. And I was like, that was the most awkward thing I've seen in a while.
Oh, it was just like just silence is so painful sometimes. Like and it was just one of those moments where the silence like it physically felt like painless in that
I
situation. I was like, "Oh,
I well, we were also right next to the dude when it happened, so we got front row
well, we
seats to
were
this.
right there." Like I was literally standing right next to him. I was just like, "Who's he talking to?" And then I look at the girls and they're just like, "The
Well,
fuck?" Like,
yeah, it also just kind of social cues where he didn't even say excuse me. He just flat out was like, "Do you have whatever manga it was? I don't remember."
"Do you have Wii games?"
Yeah, pretty much that. Only
Maybe it was
more.
him.
No,
Maybe
no.
he was looking for manga.
We games guy was funny. This was awkward.
That yeah, no, it was so uncomfy. Oh, I like haven't felt that uncomfy in so long.
It was
Like
legit. Like nobody was comfortable in that situation.
it was bad. Like it was really bad.
Also, I love like the people who stand in lines that lead to nowhere.
Oh yeah, that's always fun too.
Like my favorite was in that same booth. There was a line forming inside the booth, and the guy I looked over, and the guy at the end of the line wasn't even in line. He was just staring at something on the shelf.
Yep,
So then
yep,
I like was like, oh, this isn't a line. So I ducked out, and I like realized that the owner of the booth was literally standing over there, and he was just selling, like taking money. And I was
yeah.
like, oh, I'm like, that's yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna wait in this
I'll
line.
buy these, please. Thank you.
And I look over, and the people are still waiting in line. And the guy has said, I see, I don't feel bad because the guy literally yelled to them, "Hi, I'm over here," like 3 times, and they just didn't notice. So
At that point, it's just like meh.
yeah, we didn't really hear that many like funny moments. Like there was no Wii games this time.
No
Um,
Wii games, unfortunately.
we also didn't get any like pretentious assholes like the I only do digital art person.
Yeah, there wasn't really any of that. I did like hear like, oh, there was the guy who was like, well, I might be leaving the country in 4 months,
Oh,
and I was
I
like,
was like, yeah, I don't like to get political, but I'm sitting here thinking like, yeah, you didn't leave the last time. You're not going to leave this time, buddy.
yeah, and I'm
Not,
like, who knows what's gonna? You have no idea
yeah.
what's gonna happen.
I'm like, yeah, like, why do you have to even go there? Um, yeah, that was weird. That was such a like they didn't even bring it up.
So weird. Like it was just very like out of pocket, out of nowhere. Like it was just like, thank
Oh
you
yeah,
for
the
sharing.
artist literally said, "Okay, well maybe next year you can pick it up." And he's like, "Oh, I don't know if I'll be in the country next year." And I'll just be like, he's like, "I don't know, I might have to flee the country." And I was like, "Why would you even say that? Like that is so
Yeah, like
random."
it was just Like they don't. I'm sorry, but the art booth does not care about your fucking life. It's either buy something or go the fuck away. Like seriously, like
The poor artist didn't know what to say. She was just like, "Oh, okay."
it's probably because
Um,
like who just says that out of nowhere, like unprovoked, just suddenly be like, I'm.
it's like that
Maybe
Family Guy.
maybe it wasn't even political. Maybe he like murdered someone and he's gonna. I don't know. Maybe he's like serial killer. Who knows?
They haven't found the body yet.
They haven't found it yet, but they're
It's at
going to.
Connecticon, but
It's in the mac and cheese.
ugh.
The mac and cheese palettes.
No,
He's lying in there.
that was literally though that that Family Guy joke where it's like they're sitting at the bar and like I forget who it is just drops all this fucking like this drama bomb off and Peter's like we just fucking sat down.
He's
Like
like, what the fuck?
yeah.
I barely know you.
Yeah.
I barely know her. No.
Yeah, that was just such a weird thing. Like other than that though we didn't get any real funny interactions. It was mostly just like sometimes you hear stuff it's like dude, is this really the place to like share this?
Yeah, it's conventions really bring out the awkward in people. It really lets them shine, or like the lack of social awareness. It really brings all that
I
out
will
in the.
say, I think conventions are starting, not to be rude, but this is a problem at conventions. I think they're starting to crack down on the odors a little bit.
Yeah,
Because I did know, I mean, there was a few occasions, but I did notice not a lot of stink this time around.
yeah. There was a couple pockets of like, "Ugh," but I mean, I didn't see that many My Hero Academia cosplayers.
Boom
Sorry,
titty.
sorry, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help. Oh, speaking of another thing, I couldn't help joking. There was this booth that was selling like figures in little jars,
Oh
and
yeah.
and then I made the joke of like, oh no, don't put that in the
No, you
jar.
were like you were no, you said, "Oh, they're already in the jars pre-made." I was just like, "Alex, this is my joke."
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but like they must have known. They must have somewhat known about that. Like, come on.
I
Like
don't know. Um
I couldn't help
so
it.
did you have a cosplay that you saw that you thought was really cool?
Barbie,
Barbie.
obviously. No, because it was. I'm telling people, look up Barbie Swan Lake, her princess dress. They made a full-on perfect replica of it. It was gorgeous. That one was my favorite. I also loved Master Roshi Yoshi, who is usually there. And we didn't see them in person, but I saw a whole family as the Cabbage Guy and like the Cabbage Guy's wife from Avatar, and then their babies were the cabbage, and it was so freaking cute. Oh, I almost died when I saw a photo of that. I wish I saw them in person. But
We
those are
also
probably
saw
my favorite.
we also saw Waldoception because there's always a Waldo at
Oh,
one of these things, and there was two of them, and they happened to meet, and they're like, "This is Waldoception.
they
Like
were like,
we can't meet again."
we unite and we become one, Waldo.
And it was funny because it was legit just two random guys, and it was just Waldoception.
I wish they like started doing like the mirror thing where they're like,
Yeah,
like
they
just like I forgot
but
this is a podcast, not visual.
yeah.
I can't help it.
The only other cosplay I saw that I thought was really funny was well, there was also the Mario Brothers, but they were
Um, um, uh, go Power
oh yeah,
Rangers.
they were Power Rangers, but they were the
Yeah,
Mario Brothers. I saw that one.
that one was
Um,
cool. I love when people do like the different, fun, like unique one. Like those are always really sick. Like
there's
I saw
always goofy.
a Sailor Moon Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
So from that one was really cool. That one was really cool.
Did you see Dead Moon?
No, I didn't.
It was Deadpool as Sailor Moon.
Oh fuck yeah! And then the next day we saw Bob Ross Deadpool,
Bob Ross Deadpool.
which
Deadpools
was
are always
also
funny because you
and
can
the
literally just
little wizard. There was many a little wizard.
oh yeah yeah because
The,
that means
I love the middle
oh
little wizard meme. Do, do,
the
do, 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 where he just goes around with his little butterfly net and just causes chaos in a mall. I love
the
that.
there was also a really awesome Bandit Keith from Yu-Gi-Oh just chilling outside with his fucking dual
Yeah.
disc.
Bill was
That
like,
was
I should have
cool.
challenged him to A duel.
I said I wish I had my cards. I would have challenged him to a duel. There was that my favorite just because the creativity was it was a gonk droid from Star Wars, but the guy literally his costume was he had tinfoil pants, and then he just took two like storage totes and just
Yes.
stuck them together, and he was in the storage totes, and I'm
He's
like,
like
this.
there every year too. It's great.
It's like it's so like cheap, but the cheapness actually makes it awesome. Like
Honestly, I wish like he entered a contest because he would win in my heart.
I love it because that has to be like the most inconvenient cosplay ever. And he's just straight up like chilling with he's literally wearing two fucking storage
Well, it's like
totes.
your waifu is trash guy. That guy was great.
I mean, nothing beats the guy at Retro World who was cosplaying as a speed stick handing out deodorant. That was still
Yes.
the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yes.
What was another? Oh yeah, my other favorite too was like I was trying to find all the Sailor Scouts, which I did. I think we did find all of them,
We did.
other than Uranus. We never found Uranus
Yeah, we did find everyone else though.
or Saturn. We didn't see Saturn either.
Even the demoted one, Pluto.
Oh, yeah.
She was demoted. Even though Pluto was the coolest one. Pluto's one of my favorite. She was the coolest.
Yeah. I did also. Oh, there was also a pyramid head that we saw coming in. That guy was on stilts the entire convention, and it was
and then there was a rule. There was a rule, so I made a joke to Bill, and Bill almost died. There was a rule at the convention that regardless of gender, you had to cover your nipples. And I go to Bill, I'm like, oh, Bill, you better go to tell him he's got to cover up.
Well, no, because we saw him later, and the pyramid actually covered them. And I was
covered everything up, but
I was like, oh no, he's fine. I'm like, Alec, you can go tell him if you want to.
There's you definitely see some things at cons that you're like, whoa, that's a lot of you right now that I would not be comfortable wearing, but more power to you.
People are very free at conventions. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I'm like, whew, okay.
Not to judge, just it's an observation.
No, yeah, I mean, more power to them. I would not be comfortable wearing that. But you know, if you want to be half naked, you go for it, girl or boy, whatever.
More boy than
they,
girl.
Them, whatever. Many male Misties.
I did not see a single female Misty.
No, I did not either. It made me remember my Misty cosplay, and I was like, oh, good times. Good times.
I always loved them too because they're so into it and like it's just funny. Also, a lot of male Anyas from
Yeah, and the male Anyas, especially when they're very buff men, are my favorite. I love
my favorite is it's like when they turn around, it's just a dude with a beard, and you're like, that's just funny.
Yes.
But yeah, other than that, not a whole lot. It was a fun convention overall.
Yeah, we had a good time, but it was very crowded, and but I think that's kind of just going to be the nature of cons for now on.
Yeah. I also love the apathetic staff members.
Yeah. I did definitely feel like they had more staff this year than last year. It did feel like more, but there's only so much they can do.
Yeah. Some of the message like chains I saw on the fan page were hilarious. I was like, God damn, people are salty this year.
Well, people were like complaining. Oh, like there was some people complaining of like they stayed at the hotel on site of the convention. And there was obviously people who were rowdy and partying. I'm like, I'm sorry, but if you wanted a good night's sleep at a restful, you shouldn't have stayed at the hotel right there. It's convenient, but it's also party central. That's just kind of how conventions work. Like, I didn't feel bad for them. I was like, I'm sorry, but like, you kind of should have known this. Like, it's a convention. This is probably like the one night of the year, like the one time of the year where some of these people get out of the house too. They're gonna go have fun.
Yep. But yeah, other than that though, good time.
Another one done.
Yep.
And in the books. Next one, Retro World. And then Bill's going to FurryCon. In his his Kermit fursuit. It's on the way. I ordered it for you. Don't worry, it's your birthday present.
And this is where I remove Alex from the call.
Yeah. No, you won't. Are you firing me? Did I predict the future? I just got fired, guys. Bill
just She's still muted. But anyways, so you don't.
Dare you?
You deserved it.
No, I don't. You're fired. I'm firing you. I'm firing you. I'm taking over. It's my podcast now. Get the fuck out. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening in to the Gaming and Collecting Podcast. The Gaming and Collecting Podcast is available on all your favorite podcasting platforms, specifically Spotify, Apple, sometimes YouTube. Bill likes Good Pods, and
I haven't been
many.
on Good Pods in a long time.
All right, and many more. But I listen on Spotify, so that's where I listen to it. You can follow us on the Gaming and Collecting Discord. We're also part of the Super Pod Network. They exclude me from their fun event.
You are always either sleeping or you're not.
You
It's not
don't
something
send me the invite. You don't send me the details. I'm butthurt.
It's 9 at night. You're gonna be like, you're tired.
Stay up. Maybe I will if it's convincing enough. You don't even ask. It's the thought that counts. You bitch.
On that note,
you can
before
follow us on Linktree. That we have a Linktree with all of our links on. I'm doing a great job. You're not copying over me. We're also part of the. We have a web. We're on a website. You can look at my bio. I've ranked my favorite water bottles there. It's a great time. Bill has his other shows.
Well, before let's
this one's the best.
Before you continue on, let me just give the rundown of the let me just give the rundown of all the Superpod Network shows. So the Superpod Network, great network of podcasters. You can check out a whole bunch of awesome creators there, including Superpod Saga, Super Ghost Radio, Retro Rehab, A Novel Console, Bar Silence, Tommy's Video Game Ride Along, Fine Time, Friday Night Gamecast, Gaming Together, Remember 64, The Elder Trolls, and then the GNC shows. I believe that is everybody. And with that, everybody, we'll see you all.
No. I want to say it. With that, everybody, we'll see you all next time. Now it's your turn to interrupt. Do something dumb. Do something dumb for
guys,
the podcast. No. I already said it. Say something dumb for the podcast. You make me say dumb things. Or make me sound dumb.
I don't make you say dumb things. You say dumb things on your own. And with that, everybody, we will see you all later.
Podcast. It's a podcast.